Morning, everyone. Welcome to TechAways and our Community Impact Series. Our guest today for our Community Impact Series is Enviro 365, and we have Amos here to talk to us. We welcome you to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it's an exciting day for us to be here. It's a really big occasion for us as Enviro 365. Really appreciate the faces I see here. A lot of familiar faces. Been here a couple of times, but yeah. I think the biggest thing that we're going to be sharing with the team that sits here in front of us today is the journey that we took with BBD. When we started encountering BBD through an ESD program, Enterprise Supplier Development Program. That's when we started meeting BBD. My name is Amos Sekati, one of the co-founders of Enviro 365. I'm with my partner today, Langavi Shishavele and Mulaiza. Those are my partners who will be helping me fill some of the questions that you guys might have for us. Next slide, Langs. This is basically the details of what I'm going to be taking you guys through, who we are, our product development journey, what did we gain from participating on this ESD program, and what exactly did the team help us with, BBD team that is. Next slide. So who are we as Enviro 365? We are a fully Black-owned IT company. We were established in 2019. We are 8 directors in the company, split 4 female and 4 guys. One of the guys there. I'm also here, one of the directors in the company. Some of our clients, big names, name drop. It's a Momentum Multiply Investment. We've got Momentum Investment and Multiply Investec is one of our clients. MultiChoice is one of our clients. Mine in Mpumalanga is one of our clients. We have been in business since 2019, and our core focus, you will see some similarities. What we do is what BBD also do. We do resource augmentation. We build custom-made software for our clients. We also do DevOps services. I think DevOps is the drop. It's one of those big words now in the IT industry. We also deal with BI, business intelligence, and that's what we do. Some of the things that made us lean closer to BBD towards that ESD program had to do a lot with our skills development journey that we do for our people. So we run a grad program for straight 12 months. We take people straight out of varsity, put them through training, pay for their licenses, for everything that they would essentially need for them to become a fully fledged developer. For the last few months, our focus has always been around developers. I think BBD would know Java developers are becoming a big problem in the industry. Your C# developers, you can put a post out and wait for months on end and nobody applies. Those who apply, you give them an assessment, they run away. Essentially, that's what's happening in the market. So we're building from the bottom up. So we're taking guys from varsity, training them up ourselves. Look, I mean, when we started the business ourselves as the 4 people at the time, 2019, we had a combined experience of 44 years amongst the 4 of us, the people who started the company. I was one of the Ndunas in there. That's why they gave me the responsibility of talking to people. Next slide, Langs. So how did we end up on the ESD? 2019, everything goes well. We start a business. We land our first big client. We go start working for Momentum Investment. But like any other IT business started by IT guys who are doing software development themselves, generally what ends up happening is you also end up being the hands on the keyboards, the bum on the seat. So you are technically also involved in the running of the business at the early stages. You're also part of the development team. So we find the 4 of us, the original founders of the business, also sitting at a client doing consulting work. As we progress through that, we realize now we're sitting with plenty of work on our hands. We don't have capacity to do the work. part of the things that starts challenging us is how do we go source for people when us ourselves are sitting behind a chair, behind a desk and coding. And that's when we decided we're going to start automating because capacity became a big thing for us. We ran out of capacity every corner, every turn we took. We didn't have capacity to service our clients. We're sitting with these massive big clients who are constantly knocking on our doors looking for capacity for us to help them through their development needs and the stuff that we sell. It's hotcakes in the industry. If you say DevOps, you're almost getting a call every day, people looking for that DevOps skill, and we didn't have that capacity. Then we decided, okay, fine. Let's start automating our business because as IT people, what do we do best? We know how to automate. We know how to build software that does what human beings do. So we wanted to replace the things that we ourselves could be able to do, and we wanted to exist in multiple places at the same time. So part of it is we need to start building something, and that's the product development journey for us. Then a product was then started to be developed. That's where we started. We decided we're going to now build something that helps us to do basically background checks, something that's going to help us to do some asset management. Obviously, if you're running a business, you'll end up with some equipment there, but how everything fits together is every little thing that you do in your business needs to have a system on the side. That didn't cut it for us because we ended up having to buy almost everything that we can find that does that one little thing and it stops there. Then you get another thing that does one little thing and it stops there. But as IT people, we decided, look, we can probably build something custom that's tailor-made for us. In any case, we're saying to people, we are building custom software. Why not do it for ourselves, right? Then we started building what we now call eTalente. That's essentially an electronic version of what talent is. Right? eTalente, electronic version of what eTalente is. Then we started capturing stuff that will help us with background checks. We started doing asset management. Part of the challenges was managing of timesheets, and that's one of the things we built. And then if you continue, Lance, next slide. Part of the things that we did is obviously the guys who are doing business with us, sometimes they come and they say resource augmentation. We don't care how you do it and who comes on board. We need a good skilled individual to come sit on our floor, do as we do and do how we do. Then we go out to market, we look for people. Part of it, we needed to do it via a system. I don't think anybody in the room would argue with me when I say it's super difficult to sit in 300 interviews and find one person. And that was the challenge for us. For us to be able to do that at scale, this thing gave us that opportunity to also do some degree of filtering. Some posts would say we need somebody who's EE. Let me check. Okay. Yeah, that's not a swear word. Okay. You know, your employment equity candidates, we needed to find those people. If you go next slide, Langs. Part of the things that we needed to do for talent is the ability to also apply for those posts online. And I think most of the companies, what they do is they ask you to send a CV. If you look at it, maybe tax produces like 80 software developers every year, good marks, everybody looking good. All these institutions produces people. How do you filter through those candidates who are probably sitting at home? I think we're sitting at what, plus minus maybe 4 million now, people who are potential candidates for a good opportunity with a good qualification. Almost all of them looking the same when you look at them. How do you filter the best out of it? And eTalente helps us with that. We do interviews, apply offers, and all those things on the platform. But maybe to fast forward a little bit, these are some of the features. We can skip these things. Part of the things that we wanted to do now, right, as Enviro 365, when people started coming through the company, we started having challenges with performance management. That's a natural progression of any business. If you start hiring people, eventually you need to know what is Casey spending time on, how is she effective in the time that she spends, and that's when the opportunity to meet BBD became available. First things first, we didn't know how to do this because we didn't have capacity. All our guys were still heavily committed in building other things for our clients. But eTalente is literally our business automated essentially to a degree. It meant if we needed to do anything performance management, then we needed to build a module inside eTalente. And that's when BBD comes into the picture. We then get invited to participate in an ESD program from BBD. And what BBD does for us, we come through, we say, look, we are completely stuck. We don't know who, where, and how many we need for this project, right? They say, give us your requirements. I think we met Precious, we met Muzi, we met Tepo. And from there, we sat in a room. They said, look, we're building small businesses, particularly black businesses, to also show up on the map and become something tomorrow bigger. Right? We say, look, we have all the things that we need to know. We have all the plans in mind, but we need the hands to be able to do that. And BBD says, look, you've come to the right place. We can give you the hands to do that. And they give us 6 developers. Yeah, process it, 6 developers. It's difficult for us to find one. Yeah, we get into a room, we get 6 at one go, right? We get 3 front ends developers, and we get 3 backend developers. We get exposure to 2 senior developers also to guide the guys. And then Mulaidza becomes the PM for that project. And then, yeah, the rest is history. We ran for the first month. We realized that we've actually tried to swallow the entire elephant, not even take a bite, literally throw it down our throat. And this was becoming a problem. BBD still steps forward again and they say, look, we're still around. How much more time do you need from us? Because we want to see you succeed in this thing. And then they gave us an additional 2 months on top of it. In total, we end up 3 months into the project with the team from BBD. What were we building? We were building something custom in the main that speaks to what we needed to do internally. I mean, we are a fairly small company. For me, if I go out as the guy who leads the company and I said, maybe a financial objective for the year, and I say for this year, I want to maybe hit 10 million, or maybe 10 million is obviously, we all know the IT space. That's me saying we need 10 rands. So I say, let's set a goal for 10 million, right? And I say in 3 months, I need to achieve that. I wanted to have an ability to go onto the system and say, with all the staff complement I have in the company, what is every single person's contribution to that particular goal? And that's what BBD was helping us with. Most companies don't have this. It was custom made by us through the help of BBD. The whole idea of building this is for executives to sometimes sit at the comfort of their, I don't know where they're going, but they chilled and they're having fun. They can open their tablet and just go, what is Casey doing? How does it contribute to this? And you can reward performance based on tangible scientific evidence. And that's where the difference is with this VDP module. And I think that speaks to what the guys were doing for us and some of the things that we're able to achieve, some very interesting facts for us since we started building this platform and the things that we're able to do. On a good day, we can receive 300 applications and only sit in an interview maybe even once, because the platform does the whole heavy lifting for us, does the filtering, it does the scoring, it does all the necessary things for us, and then we can eventually just sit in 5 interviews and maybe hire one. And since we've developed this thing to where it is today, we've been very fortunate because now we started as 4 people. We're now probably about 50 software developers. In the main Java developers, the ones that we can't find in the market, we're sitting with a healthy 50 headcount of those developers in the business. One of the things we've been able to do with this thing is to be able to match company culture to the people you're looking for. And as a result, we haven't actually lost anybody in the 4 years that we've been in business. Literally all the people we've recruited, they're still with us today. Sad to say, some of them we got from BBD. Yeah, but yeah, the people that we got are literally still in the company. We yet to lose a person that we've recruited. Maybe we're doing something right, we don't know, but yeah, so far that's looking good for us. And yeah, I think in a nutshell, that is us, and that is why we met BBD, to help us build that module. Cool. I'll take questions. Yes, Enviro 365 was a very interesting name. I think what we started seeing in the industry is that everybody is more worried about their environments, and you don't have a business if your IT environment goes down. So the name suggests that we as Enviro promises to keep your IT environment available 365 days around the clock. The one thing that we do better than everybody else is we hire the best. You don't find mediocre at Enviro. Yeah, that's a very interesting one. I think that became one of our biggest hurdles when we started building the platform. I think everybody would know you don't hire a plumber to come paint your house, and that's the reality that we faced as we started. Part of the things that we built into the platform is that we obviously specialize in technical skills, and technical skills are very easy to assess, right? I think BBD also has some assessment. You come sit for it and you write something, then they assess you. That's the biggest automation that we did for us. People who would apply for positions would essentially be automatically assessed on the system. They would submit an assessment. Before we do anything, interact with them, the system will do that for them. But in the main, how do we get those guys in, right? Because that becomes a big challenge. So part of the module that we built on the platform is a module for recruiters, right? We still partner with recruitment agencies. They're the ones channeling all the traffic there. We also have some very healthy integrations with LinkedIn. From the system itself, once we put a post out, it'll go interact with certain people on LinkedIn, and even those without updated profiles, they'll still reroute to eTalent and then get assessed, and then we end up with the right people. 100%. 90% of the time, you send an assessment to a developer, they run away, then you know that's an average developer. Yeah. Sometimes you put a post out, you stay for a month without activity on it because there's an assessment. You see there's 1,000 applications, not a single assessment submitted. But the first person to submit an assessment, number one, they tick a certain special box for us. It means it's a person who takes themselves serious. Number two, it means this person is willing to take time out and do something. Then they deserve of our time as well. We sit in an interview with that individual. It's 1 in a million or 1 in 1,000 in this case. What are the chances that that is not the right person? Yeah, there's another one. How big are we and when did we start? We started as 4 software developers, 3 in fact Java devs. One of the guys was a BBD employee, worked here for I think 8 years, and then it was myself and Langavi, and then another DevOps guy. That DevOps thing starts from there. We were 4, and if I'm excluding guys who are doing work for us on freelancing, we're sitting with a 50 man strong company. Awesome, thank you. Hi. Obviously, dropping the mic without saying thank you to BBD would be a grave mistake. So I want to say thank you to BBD for making that VDP module possible for us, and really appreciate it. Hopefully, we can continue to partner in some of these great initiatives together.
Thank you so much for joining us and taking us through your journey today. We really appreciate it. That brings us to the end of the Community Impact Series. So we are moving on to takeaways. We have two speakers. Our first speaker is from Cape Town, Willa, and her topic is AI music generation. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone. Can I be heard? I'm just going to keep going. If people can't hear me, just stop me. Everything good? Cool. So, yeah, my name is Willa. I'm going to be talking about AI music generation today. So, just a disclaimer to start off. I am by no means an expert. My knowledge of AI and machine learning pretty much extends to what we have learned in the grad program and, of course, what ChatGPT could tell me. But I do, however, know a lot about music. I use music technology on a day-to-day basis, and prior to becoming a software developer, I got a degree in film analysis, specifically focusing on music. So that's kind of the scope of my knowledge. So what is AI music generation? I think there's a lot of hype around AI these days. So I kind of wanted to do something that was a little more niche, but still kind of poking the AI dragon, so to speak. AI in music involves the use of artificial intelligence to create, compose, or enhance music production and music compositions. And I think it represents a really interesting niche of the fusion of technology and art, because computers can be creative, right? Like in a very interesting, unique way. And I think it's awesome to explore that. So that being said, I'd like to introduce Jukebox, which is OpenAI's attempt at AI music generation, and it's conditions the music based on artist and genre, and you can optionally specify lyrics for it. And it's a model that uses a neural network to generate music. Due to the technical limitations of this medium of presentation, I can't actually present audio, but I highly suggest going to Jukebox on the OpenAI site. It has some really cool content there. You can listen to some really wild stuff. Basically, they have a few different collections: the being Unseen, a re-rendition, and Completion. Unseen being is a wide variety of music styles and singing styles, and it's called Unseen because it's unseen lyrics. The lyrics aren't seen during training. So when the the lyrics are given to the model post-training, and the model develops songs around that based on the other inputs of artist and genre. There are re-renditions, which are scene lyrics during training, and then the model develops the song based on the artist and genre again, based on the lyrics that it's seen, which is quite a different output from the unseen training. Then the next is completions, which is honestly my favorite, where the model is given 12 seconds of audio and they have to complete the rest of the song. And it's pretty wild. I highly suggest going onto the site and listening to those. They're really fun. So what is actually good, bad, and ugly about this? Because it's honestly a great effort, but it's not perfect. So the good is that it opens new doors for creativity. I think that it's really cool that it efficiently automates. It could efficiently automate mundane tasks and allow for higher order creative decisions by the creatives involved. The bad is that it sounds pretty bad. It's in order to perform at the level it does, it has to really dumb down the music in the quality sense. And we're talking early 2000s illegal music download quality. It's quite awful, but that being said, it's very it's still quite impressive what it manages to come up with. Another bad is the bias in training data. You're not going to get your unique SoundCloud rapper as an artist input. It's popular music. That being said, there are a wide range of genres. I'm personally a metalhead, and I managed to find quite a lot of metal on there, which was pretty unexpected. The ugly is, where's this heading? There's so much fear around AI at the moment, and honestly, I don't know. But all that I do know is that it's happening very quickly, and there's already a lot of regulatory challenges that we are facing, and I think that it's important that we try to have those moving at the same speed, if not greater, than the speed that AI is moving. Another ugly element are deepfakes and manipulation. How do we control how this affects people and their day-to-day lives, and how do we ethically separate AI from humans? And that, of course, brings me to jobs. That's a huge topic when it comes to AI. So AI versus the composer, what are the pros and cons? AI is, of course, very efficient. It can generate really interesting music based on limited input. It does, though, if you listen to the jukebox compositions, it does have this facade of music. It's difficult to explain, but when you listen to it, it feels like it's music, but there's something off. I watched a talk recently where they were talking about the hallucination-like nature of AI, which I thought was really interesting. The fact that art generated by AI can often give this dream-like impression where it feels like you're looking at real art, real music, but it feels off. Something just doesn't feel quite right. And of course, hiring a composer, like a professional composer, takes us away because they bring in the humanity that AI struggles with. But that being said, I don't think using AI is inherently bad. I think that it's important for companies to be transparent about their content, and whether they're using AIs, what roles do humans play in this. But I do think that there are a lot of awesome collaboration opportunities. You know, any good artist keeps up to date with the current technology available to them, and I think that the window for the use of music with AI is really interesting. I think there's going to be some really cool things, but I think an important consideration is always like whether production companies and other higher ups will favor cost over ethical use of AI, and I think that's moving. I think that moving forward, it's a very important consideration that we all need to make. So my cat has decided to join the presentation. So right now, I've just been speaking about Jukebox, which is a generative AI and creating raw audio from the ground up based on the training data. But what about non-generative uses? Because surely ground up audio creation can't be the only use, right? So yeah, that's a correct assumption. There are a lot of other uses, one of which is the neural amp modeler. I actually use this on a day-to-day basis. It is an awesome piece of technology. I use this in music production, which it is a guitar amplifier simulator, where it takes in a raw electric guitar signal and models the output to be like it is a legitimate guitar amplifier. And it involves the training of many sounds of guitar amplifiers and guitar effect pedals, and the outcomes are pretty interesting. I think it's really cool because it's quite different from typical DSP or digital signal processing techniques, where you modify the input based on replication, like algorithmic replications of analog signal manipulation, and it's quite something. I think it sounds really amazing compared to some DSP alternatives. But honestly, with all of this hype on AI, is it really that new? Like, is the use of algorithms and generation, like algorithmic generation in music, new? And I'd argue that it isn't. If you go back all the way to Bach's music, he displayed incredible use of algorithms in his music. The way he wrote harmony, the way he wrote structure was very algorithmic. There's a famous piece by him called the Goldberg Variations, which displayed a single aria. For the non-musicians, an aria is essentially a song. And he wrote 30 variations of that based on different mathematical principles and different compositional techniques, which is like very generative in my opinion. It's really interesting listening to how many variations can come from a single idea based on different algorithms applied to it. The second use of math in music and generative algorithms in music is aleatoric music, otherwise known as indeterminate music or chance music. And to me, it's the math.random of music creation. It's really quite interesting. A famous use of that would be pieces that were written and parts were handed to performers who would then based on random outcomes of dice and other randomization techniques, they would play the parts at different times and in different orders and at different speeds with the aim of completely generating new music randomly. This was quite a popular movement within the mid 20th century, and it's really interesting to listen to. So in conclusion, we've covered a lot of topics about AI and in music. And I think the overall takeaway or takeaway is to consider the implication of AI. The idea of automation in art isn't new, and I think that moving forward, it's important to take a critical thinking perspective and to ensure that what you're listening to is transparent, and to make sure that your use of AI is transparent and your use of AI is ethical. That brings me to the end of the conclusion. I will be open for questions. And if anyone online is listening, you can find me on LinkedIn at Willa Lyle for any questions.
Any questions? Cool. Thank you, Willa. That was very informative.
Welcome.
Thanks. So that brings us to our next speaker, which is Motheo, and his topic is HyperMotion Technology in FIFA.
Test. 1, 2, 3. Can you see me? Good morning, everyone. My name is Motheo. So I'll be speaking about HyperMotion Technology in FIFA, or what is now called EA Sports FC. We'll take a look at a brief introduction into HyperMotion Technology. Should I? Oh yeah, we'll just take a look at a brief introduction into HyperMotion technology, and then we'll also take a look into the two main pillars of HyperMotion, and we'll also look at the three aspects of gameplay in terms of HyperMotion. So what is HyperMotion technology? HyperMotion is the technology that EA uses to capture players and their behaviors in game. It's a machine learning-backed motion replication system. It was first introduced in FIFA 2022, and then it made the gameplay more realistic and immersive by utilizing the computation power that came with the next generation consoles. So HyperMotion is based on two main pillars, which are the 11 versus 11 match capture and machine learning. These two pillars work hand in hand to enhance player animations and reactions, thus improving the overall gaming experience. All right, now we'll take a look at the advanced 11 versus 11 match capture. So a couple of years ago, there was a documentary on Net Geo. I think the name of the show was Mega Factories. So the episode's name was The Making of FIFA 12. I'm not that old though, but yeah, that was then. So one could notice that in the documentary, the player movements were captured in studio, which had limitations such as space and setting. But with HyperMotion technology, EA took it straight to the soccer pitch and captured each individual player movement in real 11 versus 11 game scenarios, with each player wearing a state-of-the-art XN suit. So we can see the example of the XN suit. These are the type of suits that they use. The XN suits have multiple sensors all over them, and they are used to capture and record real-life movement, such as every tackle that the player makes, touch, whenever they touch the ball, sprint, and goal celebrations, you can name it. And then the captured data is then fed to a machine learning algorithm, which creates real-time animations. So the advanced 11 versus 11 match capture allows the capturing of animations directly from the pitch in a real match environment, and this allows for expressions of true technique, athleticism, and also explosiveness that the game of soccer demands. So looking at the machine learning integration of the system, with animations captured using the advanced 11 versus 11 match capture, the AI is being trained to learn how soccer players move in real life and try to replicate that in the game. So according to EA, the machine learning algorithm learns from over 8.7 million frames of data obtained from the match capture. So in real time, the machine learning algorithm then creates animations that translate into a natural soccer way to approach a situation, be it trapping a ball from the air or taking a spectacular shot. It now all feels natural and not like a forced animation as in previous titles. So the machine learning algorithm adapts and evolves over time. So once the game is released to the public, the algorithm continues to learn and adapt in real time based on how players interact with the game. The machine learning algorithms are designed to be dynamic, which allows for continuous learning as well. And then with regular game updates, these updates can include improvements to the underlying algorithm, and then incorporating new data and insights into the system itself to further refine player movements and the player behaviors. So as the system learns from player behaviors and feedback, it can adjust the virtual player strategies, decision-making processes, and responses. As more data is collected and the algorithms undergo iterative updates, the overall quality of the gameplay experience evolves as well. So speaking about a bit of gameplay, HyperMotion technology introduces the tactical AI. So HyperMotion technology improves the overall intelligence of the virtual players, both in attack and in defense. So players demonstrate more sophisticated, they demonstrate sophisticated decision making, adapting their strategies based on the movements of their teammates and also opponents. So in attack, HyperMotion technology provides the ability to make up to 6 times more decisions per second, which gives the attackers more awareness of their surroundings. And then this in turn allows them to make smarter runs in build-up play and lets them react quickly to loose balls. And then in defense, the whole defensive AI was rewritten. And then this enables teams, gives the teams the ability to actually act as a tactical unit, retaining their shape to move across the pitch and cover open spaces as they defend. And then one other aspect that motion capture covers is the kinetic air battles. So most people that have played FIFA would know that any action done in the air, such as headers, would feel quite very unfair and inconsistent in previous titles. So HyperMotion Technology tries to fix that by the enhanced two-player interaction technology that syncs the player animations, thus creating greater realism and responsiveness as they fight to be the first to the ball. So now one can see defenders and attackers push, pull, and jostle as they rise to meet crosses, clearances, and long passes, increasing quality in headed situations and creating more cleaner outcomes. Players now have more control over their actions in the air. There's also been a significant improvement in ball physics, so which leads to a more realistic and unpredictable ball movement. So there's also the longer two-touch animations. They make controlling the ball more natural and fluid, just as in a soccer match. So this makes the gameplay much more dynamic and challenging for players. And then one of the other features that affect gameplay is the player humanization. I think this is one of the features that actually took, like it blew my brain when I saw it actually. And then this is powered by the advanced 11 versus 11 match capture, new off-ball animation and ambient behavior that helps bring on-pitch characters to life. The technology captures not only physical movements, but also the emotional expressions of the players. So this adds an extra layer of realism, and as players show emotions such as frustrations, joy, or determination. Then during gameplay, it's now possible to see your opponents actually talk, point, and direct each other based on the action. And then, yeah, so in concluding, the advancements in motion capture and machine learning contribute to a gaming experience that closely mirrors the excitement and unpredictability of real-world soccer. And then in terms of the developments for HyperMotion, in FIFA 2022, it was introduced. And then now with the current latest FIFA 2023, it's currently utilizing HyperMotion 2, which is an improvement from HyperMotion itself. And then the latest EA Sports FC 24 is utilizing HyperMotion V. So this one like improves on the HyperMotion 2 as more data is collected as well, as I've mentioned. So with more data captured and immense computation power in the next generation consoles, the game will feel even more responsive and real. HyperMotion technology significantly elevates the gameplay by delivering a more authentic, responsive, and immersive soccer simulation. I'd just like to quickly show a small TikTok video that I got from EA's page, so just to show what this technology does. Yeah, I've muted my sound here because it's just music playing behind. Oh, sorry, I just need to share my screen again. Oh, all right. Here's the video. So sorry for the quality. So this shows you the HyperMotion V. So this is in the latest EA Sports FC 24. And yeah. All right. Thank you very much for listening. And also, yeah, thank you for taking your time to listen to me. Sorry for my nerves. I'm a bit panicky. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Motheo. That was very interesting. Oh, Katie has a question.
Yes, Katie. Okay, for me, since I game quite a lot, so I think it could be used in other cases. I'm just not too sure where, but maybe in simulations, especially like any simulations that could be run. Maybe if someone wants to replicate like maybe human actions into something, and then this technology can also be utilized. But just bear in mind that it's a proprietary software to EA. So I don't think anyone has access to it besides them. So yeah, all right, no problem. Thank you.
Any other questions? Nothing. Cool. Thank you so much, Motheo. That was very interesting. And that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for attending, and we'll see you again next week, just for takeaways. Cool. Bye.